welcome back to A Taste of BPCC. I'm your host, Sydney Parker, and here with me is Chef Grace again.
Thank you.
And today we are going to be making lemon meringue pie, right?
Yes, lemon meringue.
So what's the first step?
The first step we got to do with any lemon meringue is you want to make the meringue, the whipped meringue that goes on top first, simply because it'll hold its shape, so it doesn't matter.
Awesome.
But it's good to have it out of the way, because once you've got hot pie mix, you're like, what do I do with it? Oh no.
Okay, so what's in there right now?
Egg whites.
Okay. Awesome.
Stay. All right, let me put this bad boy back in.
This thing is so intense.
Oh, it's heavy
Excited
too.
to see it.
No, that's the little baby one. You want to see the big mixer?
God,
We got one in there that's like about as tall as I am. Its name is Bertha.
Oh, wow.
Big Bertha.
And
We got
what's
another
that?
one named Betty.
What is that?
Cream of tartar.
I don't think I've ever...
It doesn't taste like anything, but it also has a very, I would not say delightful taste, if you want to lick it, but what you use for cream of tartar for is it's good to get things to rise.
Mm-hmm. You're just putting a little...
Mm-hmm. Some people measure it. I like to live on the edge. And now I can leave it alone. Okay. So it's fluffy enough now. Okay.
It's like soap.
It does look like soap. I know, meringue starts off never looking very appetizing, but then it becomes really good.
Okay, what's our next step?
We put the egg yolks that I have,
Separated?
yes.
Okay.
Because the whites are in there, and then but you keep the yolks because they're what become the goo that it eventually becomes meringue.
Yeah.
You take them and you whisk them good so they're all nice and separate and kind of fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I set it to the side right here. And then what we do next is check on my meringue. Aha!
It changed so much.
See, it's getting fluffy.
Yeah.
And once it's fluffy enough, it creates like these stiff peaks that look like little mountains.
Yeah.
And then that's when it's perfect.
All right, guys, we're going to take a small break while we let this meringue whip, but we'll be right back.
It's about me. It's about me.
And me.
And me.
It's about me.
And me.
It's about me.
It's about me.
And me.
It's about me.
It's about you.
All right, guys, welcome back to A Taste of BPCC. I'm your host, Sydney, and I'm here with Chef Grace again.
Hello.
And we're done with our meringue. It looks beautiful.
Nice and fluffy.
And so what's next?
Well, now that you got your meringue looking like a nice little cloud, the next thing we do is you take water, and then you take your sugar, salt, and cornstarch. Sugar.
What's the cornstarch for?
The cornstarch is to make, well, when you make lemon meringue pie, if you don't add cornstarch, it becomes pudding, not pie. It doesn't hold a shape, it doesn't stand upright, it just goes, it'll still taste delicious, but it won't be pie. So cornstarch doesn't really have a flavor, it's just meant to make stuff stand up. And it turns into like this milky white, like soupy stuff. And with a little bit of time and heat, it turns into like this thick goo. And once it starts to turn to thick goo, because you need to bring it to a boil and it'll start to gooify. And you boil it for about a minute and then you take it out of the heat, add it to your eggs, mix it, and put it back in. And then you add your juice, your zest, and then you get it to be a real thick, like paste almost. And then it goes in your pie crust, put the meringue on top, stick it in the oven.
How long does that take to get gooey?
As soon as it boils. If I turn it up to high heat, shouldn't take too long at all. It's already starting to froth on the end.
So how long have you been making lemon meringue pie?
Well, funny enough, the first time I made lemon meringue pie was actually about a year and a half ago. And I made it as a gift for, I used to work at this place called Jacqueline's Cafe. And there's this nice lady there named Tina. And Tina wanted a meringue pie for her birthday. So I said, sure. Never done it. Can't be that hard. I was wrong. So I didn't know, and this is a tip too, when you decide if you taste it and it's not lemony enough, add more zest if you can. If you do need to add more juice, you must add more cornstarch, or again, it won't hold shape. So Tina got a lemon pudding.
That got frothy pretty quick.
Like you see this pasty stuff?
Yeah.
When all of it turns into that. But you also have to be sure to stir it very constantly or it will burn. If you've ever set Jell-O on fire, that's what it does.
Like it's like very.
It's sensitive. You must be gentle to
sensitive.
your pie. Treat your pie nicely. See, it's boiling. And now I just have to boil it like this for about lower the heat a little bit. Boil it like this for about a minute. See how it's completely goo now? You boil it like this for about a minute.
That's really cool how that like it's like all moving as one.
It's not fun when you get it on your hand
I
though.
can see it's like popping. I'm
It's
kinda
like
scared.
melting sugar is the
Yeah.
worst kind of burn, but
It looks like plastic.
yeah, it does.
It's really crazy.
Nice and
Mm-hmm.
blobby. I know, like I said, lemon meringue pie, everybody thinks it looks so pretty at the end, but the whole process through it just looks gross. But then when you're done,
Tastes
it's
good.
just
Yeah, it's really good. I
the
love
stuff.
lemon meringue pie.
Okay, now we move all this out of my way. Just a sec. No, I need that. Bring that back, please.
Are you gonna pour it in here?
Yes. Where'd my towel go? May I have that, please? Thank you. Nice and hot.
Yeah.
And I take this. If I don't incinerate my fingers. The thing about having a nice metal handled pan is that it's nice and hot. And it just falls right out because it's nice and molten, which is what I want. We're gonna lower that down a little bit, but not off because that's the wrong way. There we go. Now you don't touch the metal bowl unless you absolutely have to because it will heat very, very quickly.
That's a lot of steam.
Oh yeah.
It does look like pudding.
Like I said, it starts to look like vanilla pudding after a bit. And again, if you don't add enough cornstarch, it's gonna stay pudding.
Yeah.
All right. And then, once it's been whisked in, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I always keep my recipe handy because I always have to double check myself.
know,
Since
this
that
is
one
like a
time I
lot.
messed it up and it became pudding, I
Yeah.
always have to double check myself. Yep. Add hot mix to egg yolk. Yes, okay. Now we return the mix to the saucepan. All right, take this. Back you go. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. Even though it's not all the way done, I'd still eat that.
You could. It's technically cooked.
I don't know if it would taste good.
Not yet. Now it just tastes like egg.
Yeah.
Once I add the lemon, it'll taste quite yummy. And you can always add as much lemon as you want. If you're like not a big tart person, just add a little.
Yeah,
But
that's me.
if you're like, you like things super lemony, then more lemon. You can always adjust as your preference.
So what are we doing now?
Now we stir it a little more, and then you add some lemon juice.
And that lemon juice is so strong.
Yes.
I felt it.
In fact, I'm not going to add all of it.
Yeah.
Because again, the recipes are always a good guideline, but if you think it's too much, probably is.
Yeah.
In fact, I might add a little pinch of cornstarch. It's getting kind of liquidy,
So I'll be putting
just in case. And again, your cornstarch can be added again at any time. It'll very quickly just melt into the rest of it. But again, too much cornstarch and it'll just turn into a brick.
yeah.
So it's nice.
How to find that
delicate balance for your pie. Starting to froth on me again. And now, yummy zesty bits. Trying not to touch my fingers with a nice hot whisk. Might just get in there with my hands.
Is there like a certain amount you're supposed to add, or is it just like your preference?
Preference. I mean, again, there isn't a technical amount, but it's, you want it lemony, add more zest. And then we do this until it's nice incorporated into the mixture. And you see how, like, when you add the lemon zest, it gets kind of like almost chunky? Well, the lemon zest will very, very, very quickly melt. So once it's back to that smooth pudding-like consistency, you're good. And at the very end, you add butter. Might actually even be too much butter. There we go. And butter, in most things, is what we call a leavener, if I believe, which makes stuff rise.
Oh, okay.
So it's there for flavor, and it's also there to make the meringue get bigger. Maybe I should turn that down. Just a little. Because once you got all the ingredients in there, it bubbles a lot faster. You'll pass me one of those measuring spoons, please. Thank you. I'm gonna make sure it's lemony enough. Yup.
It smells really good.
Perfect. All right. Now, stay. I'm gonna move that out of my way. I'm gonna get this pie crust that I have made prior. And really, you can use any pie crust you want. Graham cracker is what this is. I personally like graham cracker because it's crunchy. But really, any pie crust will work. A lot of people like to use, you know, the traditional like floury, bread doughy kind of one. But I am a graham cracker person because I find it quite delicious.
It's gonna melt straight through the graham cracker.
No, it won't.
That looks really, really good.
I'll just scrape out the rest and eat it. That's what I usually do with my leftovers. All right.
It smells, I can smell the lemon definitely now that it's in there.
Like I said, it's literally just egg pudding until you actually add lemon. And then, and you see how it's just a fluffy cloud. Boop. Boop. And then we just smooth them out a little. But you also don't want to lose your pie.
Yeah.
Because your pie, if you add too much meringue in one spot, it will kind of go out the side like a la volcano.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to like spread the meringue thin or anything, you're just trying to cover every available inch of pie. And you just don't want it to be like huge in one spot and then just like a little tiny piece.
So what do we do after we put all the meringue in?
After we put the meringue on, you stick it in the oven. And like a good rule of thumb is around 10 to 12 minutes. If you don't know how hot your oven runs, then just start at 8 and just keep adding minutes until the meringue turns a nice golden brown color. And then once it's a nice golden brown color, you pull it out, stick it in the fridge, and you let it chill. Just long enough for it to cool down, enough to eat, like where it's not molten lava anymore. But In any case, you could eat it right out of the oven if you like hot meringue. Some people really actually like it. I personally don't, but
Yeah.
some people actually think it's really, really good. So,
I've only ever had it cold, I think.
but I also know people who put cheese on apple pie. So, I mean, it's not awful. I tried it. It's definitely not good. But I used to put ketchup on grilled cheese, so I don't know if I'm one to talk. My brother used to put pepperonis and Tony's and ketchup on grilled cheese.
That's too much.
I'm calling him out. Matthew, I'm calling you out. All right, let me smooth it. It's a little fluffy baby. Okay, and now it's gonna go in the oven.
Alrighty. Well, guys, that's all for today. Thank you, Chef Grace, for showing me how to make this beautiful pie.
Oh, you're welcome. You are welcome to eat it once it's done being cold.
Yes, I definitely will. I really want to eat the meringue.
I know.
right,
Wait,
guys.
I have some left. Would you like it?
I probably will eat that one.
Okay.
Alright, guys, we'll see you back next week.
Bye-bye.